Beta? Yeah, this is, I mean, this should be the last version if I did everything right. Ago, it's good to see you. And oh, I actually will have save file on here, so we'll go. That's okay. We can just go and erase that. Okay. Cool. So let's try and test everything. Okay, you can die in here. Sounds good. That was one of the things I needed to test. All right. That all looks
can die.
Fine, except for I will change where it says actual beta, and I will change the part that says version. Good. Too many of the mechanics unique to Kaizo S. Oh, all right. I'm trying to also kind of like do this as a playthrough so that we can like upload it. So, do you have anything to say about this? Yeah, I guess one of the things is like it's not comprehensive, right? So like, there's a lot of things you can do in Kaizo that's not in here, but hopefully, doing this will give you enough that you can do a lot. That's the goal. And yeah, like some of the tricks in here are really tough. So even though they're not comprehensive, you can select on the overworld at any time to save. Midways will also be saved. Press L and R in any level to reset. Okay. Sweet. That works. I do want to get, I need to check a hotkey, change a hotkey here. We don't want to have the save state load state, I don't think. That's fine. And what I do want to do is I should have capture screenshot. Yeah. And can I do like a... No, it's one button or the other. Okay. Okay, let's just do R, and I won't use it too much. I'll use L most of the time. All right. Cool, it works. I didn't get any screenshots from the beginning. Okay, let's reload it so we can get some from the beginning here. Trying to do a bunch of things at once here.
Okay, that's fine. Blue Ribbon made this hack.
That's me.
It's you.
Oh, I guess I'll have to make a new title one after I actually have the retell. Never mind, we're good here. I don't need a thing or the other thing, so we're good. Alright. This is the one that's star named. It teaches you how to run.
It's my favorite one. Because I'm good at it.
Hold X or Y to run. Yeah, you gotta run. Okay. And so you have to like run. And you even have to jump. It's really a tough thing. I don't know why it starts the song again, but I don't hate it, so I let it stay. Because who doesn't love some bloody tears, honestly?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to named all the sections. Based basically on what you're supposed to do in them. This is the beginner section, and there's tests for each to the left. And stuff on the right. Jumping is the key mechanic. Jumping in Super Mario World has two major components. You jump higher the faster you're moving, and you jump higher the longer you hold the jump button. That is true. So that goes higher than that. Easy enough. And then if you run, your full jump is even higher than your full jump when you're not running. Here, and you jump there. And then this teaches you how to do a spin jump. So B, or whatever you use for B, but B, like I say, it shows on here as B. So you'll know what B is, or whatever these are by, they're actually named on the thing. Okay, so B is a normal jump, A is a spin jump. Spin jumps gives you a lower height but equal distance, and can be used to kill enemies, or can be used to safely bounce off certain dangerous enemies. So here you Really, this is easiest to do a regrab if you know how to do a regrab, but that's the next thing. You can use a small spin jump without regrabbing, so you'll see I'm going to do that. Well, I died that time. So I'll try it again. Yeah, I didn't have to jump there. Okay. I did forget the other mechanic, because you do want to actually have speed, so you want to hold... You can hold Y or X, they're the same. But I think X is easier. Oh, I did regrab. There it is without a regrab. I'm so used to regrabbing.
Yeah.
Regrabs, during the jump, take your finger off the jump button, and then repress or regrab the jump button. Regrabs cause you to fall slower, so you can cross a lower gap with less height. That is true. Also, I didn't put this in here. Germdev suggested it. So also, if you're just holding the jump button as you run, as you're in the air in general, you fall slower. So if you like fall off of this versus fall off of it while you're holding jump, you fall off slower. Not super noticeable there probably if you're don't know how to look for it. But that is a mechanic that you might have to use other places. I thought that's kind of inferred from some of these other things and add a separate one for it. As you're getting started with regrab, an effective strategy may be to quickly double tap the jump button, whichever one you're using, holding it the second time, which will give you an auto regrab. I don't know why I said auto regrab, but that's why I stuck with it. So blue coins are generally spin jump coins. That is what this is teaching you here. So you're going to do, you can watch the input. So you can see I quickly let go, then hold again. That's what we're going to do over here. There you go. Up over. So these are reset doors that go back. Germdev faithfully tested them all, but we'll test this one. Yep, okay, we went back. Success. So here you regrab after you hit the first thing.
I hate how good you are.
If you hold you want to just grab it after you hit it. If you hold it as you're about to crash into it, you'll bump it up into it. You can see as you're sitting there, you're just low enough that you don't crash into it. And that's why the regrab works. So after you hit it, then you can regrab to get that extra distance. If you don't regrab and just do it at speed, you won't make it. You do need to... I guess you can if you're really good. The regrab will also give you the bounce on the other side, which is the other benefit. So
when you say the other side, you mean the second spiny thingy?
Yeah. So it looks like these are close enough that you can get speed and get across between the two without doing the regrab. Well, like just barely. But then you're going to have to be holding jump as you reach the other side anyways to get that big bounce.
Sure. Okay.
So there I press it before I hit it, and you run into it. If you press it after, then you get the jump. I bought these Mike and Ike's. They're part of the tutorial. Which is the fact.
Dropped them into the computer.
I dropped one in the computer. No, I didn't actually. I thought I did. And they're not very good. Gosh,
well, yeah. Is that the blue box?
Yes.
That's your problem.
It is my problem. I know. I thought it'd be exciting to have different flavors, but all the other flavors are bad. And there's too many of them. Hold jump and run over the gap. If you fall in, you need to run faster. So I'll show if you don't hold. Kind of hard to get P speed here. I'm trying to get P speed just to show that even having P speed isn't really quite enough. But yeah, it's just you're running across. Run, run, run. Or I'll go to the back and get a little speed run. Yeah, okay, you fall right in. You need to be holding jump. You'll see once you're holding jump on the ground, you're like good to go. And this is that same mechanic that I just talked about in the last one that Germdo was mentioning. So this is, you fall slow enough that you grab the ledge before you've actually fallen. That's the difference.
Oh, there. I didn't know that was the mechanic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It slows your fall speed so that you can grab that little edge of the ledge there. These physics basically just make you help you maintain speed, so you do want to still be holding jump here. You can just across those. Look away if you don't want spoilers. This is a spoiler part. So you're big, which is why you were ducking. And you can spin jump these, that's a vanilla trick. Someone was like, oh, they might not know, and I guess it's kind of true, but it's a vanilla trick. You should know your basic vanilla mechanics before you play Kaizo, I would recommend. And then you just grab it. But if you kill those ones, you're going to fall right off the edge. So that's the spoiler. There's a few post-goal deaths in here, and that's intentional. Don't see those a lot in Kaizo. So everyone said to me that I should swap these, and I didn't. So I hope you agree with me. Chuck gates are the reverse chuck gates are actually a lot less common, but I think they're easier, which is why I have it first. So you hold jump and run over the gap. So this is really the same thing you just did in the last one, except you have the pressure of this chuck that is jumping and can smash you into these munchers. You have to just time your run so that you are crossing the gap entirely when he's not in your way. I went too early there. I ran into his head. There it is. And that, to be fair, I did make this a bit tougher so than it could be. Usually you'll see these and there's going to be one extra tile of space, but I figured it was the only thing you had to do. I would train you on the tougher one. Here, for these chuck gates, you're going to want to... So there's a standard chuck gate. pretty normal design here. And the big difference is that you basically you need to make the chuck jump and then run under while the chuck is in the air. So, like, while he's in the air like that, then you're going to run. That one wouldn't have worked. That one might have. I'm just kind of showing the basics. So what does it say? Get the chuck to jump and run under. Chuck will jump. Okay, so here's how you know that chuck is going to be good to jump. If you are 2 tiles higher in the air when his hands are on the ground, which is awkward. I think the easiest way to do this one is to spin and run, but I'll show you how to do it either way. So you see his hands in the air, on the ground, in the air, on the ground, in the air, on the ground. So if you're in the air while he's like that, then he's going to jump. And are you do it by standing here? Yeah. So if you're like stand in a place where he can see you, he'll just do it all the time. And if you're too high, it doesn't register it anymore. It is weird. It's like kind of weird like that. So I would recommend spin jumping in general. I think it make him a little easier. And a lot of people will do like a kind of like 1, 2. But you don't need to spin jump. I mean, you can normal jump too. It really doesn't matter. So whatever works best for you. A lot of people get a little bit of a rhythm going. They'll be like 1, 2, and then like run kind of thing. Which that works. I mean, I'm not great at it because it's chuck gates are hard. TBH. Okay, so that's how you can get him to run and run under. I set this one up to be kind of not easy, but like I try to set this up to where if you just spin at the right time and run, it's gonna work. Let's try and do that too. I mean, it's a lot less reliable, but it's an easy way to get it to go. There it is. You get a lot more space there, and you're kind of just getting the height up. But it's like trickier to that one's. I mean, that one's going to be a lot tougher to time and that kind of stuff. So I have it to work here. But if you get to like the end of a level and you have a chuck gate, this is not a good reliable way to do them. I do recommend like the timing it by getting him to jump, etc. is like way more consistent and like the way to do it. But just letting you know you can do like little jumps, and you will see setups where you need to do a jump as you're approaching to get him in the air to do stuff. It's not always a chuck gate. There'll be other ways that it sets up that way too, but it's not an uncommon thing. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay. You can jump on Rex's twice, and they speed up. You can see he's going kind of slow here, and then he hustles after he gets squashed. You just use them to jump on twice to clear things. So this one I'm kind of just holding jump the whole time. Get the max jump you can out of it. Dino Rhinos can also be jumped on twice. It turns into a Dino Torch. And it spits fire. So let's watch it spit the fire. Alright, it walks around. It might hit that thing and despawn. Oh, it turned around right in time. You can see how that works. The fire will kill you, so you can't jump into it. They also do that, which it teaches you in the next moment. I'm gonna start running back at us here. Oh no, it just ran off. Okay. This one you don't need to use twice. I just was showing it off. So I put a bullet here so you didn't have to wait for it. It's a little awkward, but that's what I thought was best. So these little ones, the Dino Torches, will try to jump over small walls. And yeah, that's the thing you'll see Kaizo designers use a lot. Oh, the one is still there, just not the other. So here, I should show you the Dino Rhino jumping over the wall too. So the big ones can jump over too, not just the smaller ones. It does have to be a pretty small wall for them to jump over. Like they won't jump over a super big one. Okay, maybe I'll talk about how I did the timing there. But to get this one's a little tricky. This is like more of a real kind of Kaizo setup. So you need to cut your jumps and aim a little bit here. This isn't just like hold and hold and hold. You can see I'm constantly feathering the jump button as I'm in the air. I'm holding Y the whole time, but I'm going on and off to time and fall at the right speed to fall on those. Could you do it by only holding B? Yeah, you can. It's going to be a little trickier. You're going to have to, I think it's going to be tricky. That's really tough, just hold a B. And you can't easily make that jump without the bullet. Like, you can if you got the right speed, probably. But that one you're probably going to have to be tricky about. But here you can move around a little bit and just hold B down. Here, I've tried to make it obvious that you can't press B. So I disabled B in this room just to show that you can spin off of Rex and get one big bounce, and Rex goes away, but you get a big honk and bounce off it. So you can see I'm pressing B and it does nothing. I wonder if it works actually to slow you down as you fall. It probably doesn't do that either, huh? Yes. Oh, right, well. Hard to tell. Anyways, so you're gonna want to spin jump and go over there. You can also use spin jump if you want to return to get up there to the other room. I mean, custom graphics. I hope you appreciate them.
Ew.
Nice. Okay, so I did that one with feathering the jump again, like going on and off of A. But there it is, holding it steady. So I tried to make a lot of these work without doing the way I do it. So they should work with a more basic controller knowledge, but like some of them work easier if you are able to let go of and repress the jump button consistently. Okay, So this one's quite a bit tougher. If you aren't getting this one, feel free to move on. The bubble jump itself, I think, is relatively easy to get after trying it up a bit. But the Goomba jump that comes later is a bit tougher. So bubble jumps are not jank. And you jump near the top of the bubble and you hold jump as you fall. You might have to wiggle around a little bit and you just bounce off of the top one as it gets lower down. So that's all you do. I mean, this one is set up to be like nice and consistent, but there it is without wiggling. You don't need to wiggle. You can see you do need to hold B so you fall slower, because otherwise you'll just fall right through it. There it is. I'll wiggle this time again. Wiggling doesn't really do too much, but it kind of help you to kind of aim it. So this Goomba we're going to reuse for a Goomba jump. You kick the Goomba in the air and catch it before it hits the ground. Now, it's fine if it's like, you can stay on the ground, and I don't know, like, it's up for debate if like staying on the ground makes it more or less, like makes it less reliable or not. I don't think it does, but some people say it does, and I really don't. It's not important. So just catch it before it hits the ground. Then you watch its feet wiggle as it's starting to wake up. In fact, maybe what we should do is let's watch it wake up on its own first, not holding it. So you can see it sits there, wiggle, 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 and then it's going to start wiggling faster about now. A little late, there it is. And then it pops over, right? So you're going to watch it. Oh, well, that's not going to work. John, I agree, but I've seen people who very vehemently have told me the opposite. Me directly have told me the opposite. So I'm just trying to make everyone happy here. That only makes a difference. Okay, so let's go back. We gotta die again so we can watch it. Wiggled too much there. Yeah, I am also pretty sure it doesn't make a difference. I mean, I guess you're not pretty sure. You are confident. Okay, so we're going to throw it up and catch it. And now let's read what we're going to do again. So when it starts to wiggle, we're going to jump in the air. And then, so this one is the one that I changed recently. That you want to begin to fall right when it wakes up. So it's really tricky timing. And like, honestly, this isn't a super common thing. I just think it's cute. And it's in 2Kaizo. I wanted to continue the tradition. So if you do it right, you can push up in the air. So basically, you're going to jump as it, and then like fall as it's wiggling, and it should pop you up just like that. Now, if you don't get that timing just right, it'll just wake up and kill you. So, which will happen a lot. Don't worry. All right, slopes. So, okay, yeah, this is a really important thing, actually, and I use it in the very first trick in Easy Kaizo, which you should play after you play this. So, you don't want to press left or right in midair. It slows you down. And so sliding gets you up to speed, and actually, I don't know if that's... I think that speed is faster than P speed. It must be. And so when you press left or right, it actually slows you down. I think it slows you down to P speed. You can see I can easily make that if I'm not pressing left or right. But if I slide, oh, I didn't get the slide right. If I slide and I press right as I do that, I fall short of it. Even if I start pressing it late, I do it. So you just want to jump. You can also continue the series by jumping a second time. So if you need to like take your hand off the D-pad, that's fine. Once you jump, you don't need to be like, you've got the slide going. In fact, you'll see I'm pressing the slide the whole way down, but really you just need to press down to start the slide. And then the rest all goes. So you can press down and let go of the D-pad for the whole rest of that sequence, and you're good. Get that cool little moon. Okay. So this is, you may learn it because this is a trick that is used in, I believe it's Storks, right? It's used in a morsel hack, And this is how Morsel, like, that's what Morsel says at the beginning. Morsel explains more, and it's like a little bit secretive, so I don't know. Like, it's like, it says it in a really awkward way that is funny. And I had that in here originally, but then I realized that I probably should be helpful. So I changed it to actually say what it should say. So you want to slide with an object, like we have this key and we need this key later. So we want the key to be with us as we slide. You'll see if we go here, we try to press slide, we don't really slide. I mean, we do, but like, that's slow, right? It's dragging us down. So there is a way to keep the slide to go fast, and that is to start the slide while you're not holding it, and then hold it sometime during that slide. So you can do that in two ways. You can either drop it on the slope and catch it as you slide. You want to drop it a little lower, let's say like here. So you can press Y. Oh, I grabbed it. I didn't mean to grab it. You'll see that I'm like kind of awkwardly dropping it, and that's because if you are holding against the slope, it'll just fall right through the slope. So you're gonna press down and Y, and it will grab it, and you'll see that we have our speed. So you can do it that way. But maybe it won't go through. A lot of things would go through this slope. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I was like, I know you can kick it through this slope for sure. My favorite way is to do like that move, which is kind of like the same thing, but a little swaggier. You kind of drop it as you start to approach it, and then you pick it up right on the way. So let's see what I'm doing as I'm doing that. I've got Y here. I'm gonna let go of Y. And then I start the slide. I'm not, well, that time I kicked it, but I'm not kicking it as I'm doing that. I'm just dropping it at speed. So I'm just pressing down and it's giving me a drop. And I'm sliding, so I'm catching up. That's probably the ideal way to do it in my book. You also can kick it up and catch it as you slide it. It's just going to be a little trickier to time that. But that is totally valid as well, if that's the way you want to do it. There it is. Okay. So you need the key just to get through here. You can use it to just kick into these. There it is. Whee! Okay, so this one teaches you that Mario's butt is super powerful. So if you don't press left or right, you stay in that slide, which we already kind of talked about in that last room. But you can do it to go through enemies. If you slide enemies, sliding is a really effective way to kill enemies. So if you are staying in a slide state, you can coast right through a whole bunch of enemies. That's what we're going to do here. I'm going to hold Y just so I have it. I'm actually going to hold down B because we're going to want to get a big jump off of that Goomba. So I'm setting that up ahead of time. I'm just going to press down. I didn't get my down. So I pressed nothing else after I pressed down there. I just held Y. That's not true. I held Y and B, but I didn't repress or change or anything. I was holding Y and B the whole time. Got into the slide and I just let it take me. Cool. So you can choose and to continue on to do more tests or to do more rooms and learn more, or you can take a test at the end. It's up to you how you want to do that. Some people really were telling me I really should force the tests, but I think it's, I think it's good to be able to learn things without having to perform at a strong level every time. So this first section, yeah, we're just gonna do the test that has a bunch of the stuff. Again, it's beaten at your own pace. Don't feel like you need to master before moving on. That's the thing I really feel is important and that I had some disagreement with. Anyway, so we slide and then we've got one of these Goomba jumps. I wiggled a little bit there to get that one to work. Now we've got a chuck gate that looks a little annoying because it is. Chuck gates are always annoying. Okay, now we have to quick start jumping. And then this one is actually a little tricky to get the regrab right. So you should do it like here. It's probably your ideal time. Other timings will work, but you're gonna have to figure that one out a little bit. And it takes a bit to get there, so it is a little bit tricky for sure.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Thank you for the follow. Cool. Okay, so this is the platforming section. There's also a shell jump just because I talk about it a lot in other spots. And there's some other stuff, right? Like the section names aren't like, that's all that's in there because there's just too much and there's not really a consistent thing for all of it. So shell jump is a really, really common trick. So I wanted to put it early. There's a whole shell section later though. So you want to be about 2.5 tiles away from the wall and holding a shell. Then you are going to jump. And as you reach the peak of your jump, Easy Kaizo taught you cape dive. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're going to release the shell by letting go of Y, but continue to hold B. And then this tells you how to know what to fix if it doesn't work. So if you let go too early, the shell will go beneath you. If you let go too late, the shell will hit you. So I will try and show both of those. If I let go early, you can see the shell just falls right beneath me. I don't run into it at all. If I let go late, or that one I let go like at the very last moment. There it is. It runs into me. So early, beneath me. Late, right again. Late. Oh, it can also just go above you if you let go way too late. But if you let go just a little late, it's gonna smack you. Because basically what happens is, you get that spot between where it's beneath Mario's feet, which is what you want for the shell jump, or going above his head, which is what happens if you do it way too late. Meek Lunch, I really appreciate that touchy cape dive. There's a lot more cape in that than probably ought to be. But I'm glad you had fun with it. So you can do like shell jumps. Like you'll see a lot of people who have played a lot. They'll do like something like that to do a shell jump, and like that is the ideal way. Don't get me wrong. Like that is A+, very best shell jump you can be doing. Not that one because I let go too late. But so do like a quick left right to like kind of killer motion. They'll be just perfectly lined up. You get really high when you do it that way. But I set this up to be a pretty easy one. So if you want to stand right around here, again, so you got 1 tile, 2 tiles or so. This is 3 tiles, so about 2.5 tiles here or so. And you're gonna let go that and pop up. So holding B, letting go of Y. And then I'm re-grabbing Y once I get the jump. You don't really need to do it to make it work. But really you want to re-grab Y so you have the speed to make it over to the top there. Oop, I'm letting go too early. Okay, so that you can do it without repressing Y. So if that's how it works for you when you're practicing, that's fine. I kind of just actually let go of both, which is like not ideal, but it helps me to do it. That will probably be a problem later, but I've played basically every beginner hack and plenty of intermediate hacks. And so if I'm doing, like, this is enough to get you started. Okay, so let's try and do it the way that I expect most people will do it as they're learning again, like that. Boom, there you go, in the door. This one is telling you the same thing. It's on purpose. So there's this wall right there that we're going to jump into. So shell jumps are tougher when you are jumping across a gap like this, when they're further away, just because timing it is harder. Knowing when you're about to hit and running into that peak of your jump is tougher when you're moving like this. It also is a lot tougher if you're going P speed. I would not recommend getting P speed here as you're mostly learning, but if you feel comfortable once you have tried it a few times, you can run back and forth here and get P speed. And that will change it quite a bit as well. But let's just try and do a normal one. I let go way too early there. There it is. We don't get our shell back to practice, so you can see your height of the jump is still going to be at the same spot, right? So if I'm jumping here, I'm going to let go right there, right there. I'm still going to do that. I'm going to need to visualize the arc and let go. Let go here. There it is. That was too early. Still at the peak. Let's try to do it late. It's a little tougher on this, honestly. There it is. One above us. Go to the last spot you can do it. You can see that it's not a frame perfect trick. It's not an easy trick until you get used to it, for sure. But it's not like there's like the one spot that it works. You can let go in a couple spots and it'll still work. Yeah, but again, I put this early because it's an important trick, not because it's an easy trick. So don't get confused there. I would say I think everything else in this section is easier than that. This one's called this platforming. It's just about platforms. So these ones fall slowly. You can do that way, or if you want to be really fancy, you can try and hit that as you're jumping into it, but it falls slow enough that you can do 2 quick jumps on there. These ones are really weird. They pull you down very fast. So you're basically gonna try and not stay on them too long and maintain speed and jump. So if you kind of just stand on them, they do mess you up. So you want to kind of run and go. This one is here and it gets caught on like a corner weirdly or something. I don't know what there is. There's some track that it gets caught on there that it shouldn't, but I thought it was cute and saves you from having to do it perfect here. These ones rotate. I'm trying not to fall off, I guess. You can see they rotate through. This one doesn't let you stand on it like the whole time it's rotating. You're gonna have to find it, but there it is. And there's some really like finicky mechanics about that I don't understand, that you're not going to see in too many Kaizo hacks, but there is in some. So be prepared. These ones just rotate on their own, and there you go. There's a bunch of platforms. There also are timed platforms, which is a really common one that we'll see next. There are some other platforms that you'll see. Most of them are not vanilla, so there's ones that like move up when you jump on them. Those aren't vanilla, but you'll see those in other things too. You know, it's a platformer, so I didn't include all platforms. I included the main ones you'd see. So timed ones, in vanilla, they only have a time of 1 or 4, but most of the time in hacks, you'll see them with a bunch of different times, whatever works for the thing. So they fall after they count down. You can land on them as they're falling, so you can jump up underneath them. And that's going to be important in here. There's also some really great stuff you can do with them. I just love them. They're my favorite by far. But we won't like get into everything they can do. So you'll see there it started to fall. I also ran into the thing, but let's, so we're going to need that 4, but let's just watch these fall. So there they are falling. That's what they look like. They kind of fall slowly. We actually are going to start 4 first, and then we want to sneak through here. Didn't do that right. And you can see this is a little trick. It's a little like puzzle of getting the timing right. Then you can jump up on that. There it is, as it's falling, and as you land on top of it, you can get another jump off of it. This is fairly tricky. I mean, it's like it's just platforms, but that timing on that last trick is not easy timing. I'm also regrabbing through this jump here. I don't know if a regrab is necessary. It probably isn't necessary, but it's a good place to practice because you got that low ceiling and you don't want to crash. You could definitely do a small jump through there and you'd be safe. There it is, without a regrab, but much easier to control with the regrab. The regrab will freeze your height at the height that you regrab, right? You can have more time to fall and be confident in your control. If I want to just hold it that high, I fall really quick. But if I regrab, I can control that so much more. There it is. So that'll be kind of tricky. Don't worry if it takes you a while. Here's another time platform. This, I don't even remember what I'm doing. Oh, you can jump off of these as it's falling. So let's do that again, because I just got lucky on that one. So much easier setup here. You want to stay on the left-hand side so you don't run into them, and run and jump. So these bullets you basically are jumping on. The coin guides are approximately where you're going to want to bounce off of them. But it's not perfect. If you die once, this becomes pretty consistent timing. And you'll see that they actually move a little bit slower than you do. So in general, with this type of setup, you do have to do some finagling with your speed by pressing left and right in air to line up right. But if you hit it right about where those coins are, they should work pretty well. You can do, you can take that one early and press late, etc., etc. There is a tougher version through here, a lot tougher. Like this one is unfair, and you shouldn't play it if you're new. It's kind of there for people who are playing this just to explore, to be annoying and fun. But you really want. This part at least does give you a good idea of how to time that, how to get that timing going. So there it is. It has lots of moons to reward you for it. We'll go back and look at the first half though. Once I actually realized I had it, I had to go for it, I also became dead because I got so many 1-ups. That just happens sometimes. No big deal. Okay. So that one kind of worked there. Ideally, we should be jumping a little later, so we want to do that, and there. That one I'd have to do a lot of left-rights. Sometimes you'll have to do more. It really depends on just the speed you get and where you're hitting the bullet. Like, you can literally hit the bullet at different points on it, and it will affect the way that you flow through those. So, yeah. All right. Like a clown at a circus, Mario takes to the skies. I know, this is always funny. When shooting out of a cannon, your trajectory is affected by pressing different combos of Y, B, and right. For greatest distance, use only Y and neutral the D-pad. This is actually, yeah, so this is your trajectory. The Y won't actually affect your trajectory, but it will affect, there it is. It is useful generally. And again, just like with sliding, pressing right is going to kill your momentum. So holding Y and B, or even just B, is going to give you the furthest distance, which is the distance you want there. This one actually resets here so you can reread it. You'll see if I press, let's say, Y and right, you file really short. That Y is just, or that, sorry, the right is really a killer. So what we basically just want to do is jump. There, I cut myself short on purpose just so we could get one more time. Let's do that without Y. I think we don't need Y at all here. So let's just hold B to get the furthest jump we can. Press it right at the right time. Yeah. So you'll notice I'm not running on that second platform. That is going to slow you down. And you don't want that. You want to keep that speed. So cannon speed and slope speed are faster than P speed. And if you start running, you reset your speed and you need to like regain P speed to get to work. Sometimes you do want to do that, but not here. You can see I slow incredibly down and it doesn't work at all. Okay, start select out. You know what I should have done? I haven't even practiced this. Press L and R, it's supposed to kill you. So, oh yeah, okay, it did. Cool. It also captured a screenshot because that's how it works. I'm not taking many screenshots. Maybe I should be doing more of that. Let's go back. What are some screenshots we should take from this? One of the shell jump.
Shell jump.
Yeah. Oh, it's that's the shell jump. Okay. There it is. All right, perfect. That looked like I was shell jumpy. Oh, maybe I can get one in, and maybe I can get one mid jump, right? That would be exciting looking.
Good luck.
There we go. I think that one was a little late. I think the thing will have disappeared already. Yeah, we don't need the platforms probably. You get one of like bubble jump. That one's fun. Okay. You get a ton of pictures from this one, I don't think, but you'll get some. This this fish and boo is obviously a Christian allegory. So basically you just need to, I don't have good words for it, which is partially why I kind of memed on it. You kind of need to like lock into a good speed with it. You my ideal is you kind of catch it coming back, so it comes to the right, and then if you do it right, you just like both hit the same speed, and it's like easy. You can make it work other ways, right? You can do a whole like, oh, I'm out of control, I'm not keeping it steady, and that works. Like, you can adjust as needed, but like if you can get a really nice like locked in speed with it, that's ideal. But basically you're just spinning on its head. That's the main trick. Okay, and there you just want to make like, you can do bigger jumps here. In fact, you have to do a bigger jump to get over there, but then you're going to be doing the small jump, or not even a jump, just that small bounce without holding A to cruise underneath that death ceiling. On-off blocks are cool. So you turn them on and off. These blocks don't actually exist in vanilla, but they're like everywhere. That's what the thing tells you. So you can hit them with your head as you're in the middle of a jump. You can hit them with an item, like a shell. That's it. Probably the easiest level in this series. It's got its own challenge, but maybe the cannon if you do it right. That one's pretty easy to do. Okay. So now we put it all together. So you got to do that jump. You got to use these on-off switches. They're going. That jump is definitely the toughest in this part by far. And in general, when you're playing an on-off switch level, you're going to want to switch them on and off every time you see one. Except sometimes you'll get trolled and there'll be like one right where you shouldn't. And usually you can see that, you should be able to see that ahead of time though. You shouldn't get trolled with one where you would, where you would not want to press it and you can't see that you wouldn't want to press it. Okay, so we're just doing that again. It's because I was talking about this. Here is a little tricky. You're going to want to get a big jump on both of those. So kind of spend as little time as possible on the platforms and hit jump kind of as soon as you land on them. I think I did move it up so it's not as tough as it once was, though. That used to be a bigger jump for the second one, so it was a little tougher. So this is going to teach you a lot about spinning, the spin section. You can hold an item while spinning, but you have to catch it while spinning, or pick it up spinning. Yeah, but if you're already holding an item, you can't spin jump. You can just normal jump. So, ideally you want to do that. You also can grab it and spin like that, but that's a one-frame trick that you will use later. You can spin jump off of this Balarg friend. Use a key and go through. You spin kill an enemy, gives you a small period of float in the air. Oh yeah, okay. Kaizo often uses this to give you a moment to move left or right as you descend. So essentially, enemies that you can't that you don't get a spin bounce off of, you still get a little bit of a benefit from spinning them. That little poof that you see appears actually gives you time that you wouldn't have if there was nothing else there. And so I can maybe demonstrate that. Let's see if I can lure these out enough to show that. Maybe not. Okay, we got... No. I guess you will just have to trust me that you cannot make that jump if those are not there. I guess you could do it backwards. That would be a way to show that. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. Let's get to the right side. Get to the... Or to the... Yeah. That side. Now we'll try and go backwards. It's kind of an annoying jump. I will agree with that. But it's kind of just the one jump. That's why it's annoying. There it was. I was jumping a little too early. Oh gosh. I crunched it. Oh, thanks, Adobe. Sorry, y'all. Adobe had to tell me that I had updates to the apps that I'm not able to use right now. All right, that's fine. We won't go back. So it allows you to do things like this. Oh, that says the same thing, and that's on purpose, because here is where you also are going to use that. So you're going to just puff through here. So again, it gives you just a little bit of extra space. If you just jump here without this puffing, you're not going to make it down that ladder. You also can like ride. You can see that like just bouncing off those is like tough. Like that's a really tight window. So spin things, because you're crushing kind of down the whole time, give you space to clear those types of things easier. Okay, so here are those spin bricks, which we already saw that you can break. When you break these spin blocks, you get a small boost. This is the easiest setup you're going to get. So you literally just get speed and hold right and break. But you probably don't even have to hold right if you're just going right. But a lot of times you have to like do this and like go back and forth over things. And it gets a little tricky. I made this one not tricky just because I really hate this thing. Yeah, you literally don't even have to hold right there. But like they'll have you like go between them and like move up and down a whole bunch and all that kind of stuff. And that will be in very beginner hacks. It's considered a very beginner trick, so you will see it in beginner hacks. Will expect you to be good at that. That's one of the things that I'm not very good at, so I can relate to it feeling annoying. So you make these spikes move by luring them, by getting close to them. This one has this 1F0 here, which you'll learn more about later, that catches it. So you can just spin off it now that it's stuck there. Hooray. Here, there is no 1F0, so you have to lure it to start, and then jump with the right timing to land on it, top of it as it's falling. So you can see that was both too early and then too late. And let's try to Goldilocks this just right. There it is. So I did use a little regrab to get that. I'll try to do it without a regrab just to see if we can... I kind of still regrabbed it, but less of a regrab there. That one I just let go and grabbed it as I hit it instead of before I hit it to slow down a little. So a lot of these tricks might, and that's to be fair, that a lot of these tricks might involve you using things like regrabs, slow fall, etc. as you're kind of going through things. So the thumb jump is really similar in theory, but it does involve a different movement. So you again have to get close to it, and then you want to fall on the top and bounce off. These ones are pretty tricky. So the spikes kind of fall specifically. They're usually put on the ceiling. I mean, they fall at the same rate, which they all fall at the same rate. But like these, I think they differ a lot by like how far you have to jump to set it off, how high up it is, etc., etc., etc. They can be really tricky to learn. This one is relatively easy, so you're gonna go like this, and then as it's falling, you just lean in a little closer, and then you land on top of it. So that, except you need to let go of the jump button so you fall faster, or you can just kind of wait around a little better. So they can vary, right? That one's just holding on the whole time. But I could do something where I, like, instead have to... see if I can... yeah, kind of fall fast on top of it if you're not in the right spot, and you can get it to work that way too. See, there I would have needed to fall because I got it going too soon. All sorts of different ways. Watch you learn nothing and still die to the fist mob every level. I don't know what the fist mob is. Gucci chicken? So this one, Ed says hi. You just spin. That's what you're learning to do, so I didn't give you a lot of hints on that. Oh, okay, spring jumps are really hard. Hey, as it says. So you want to release the spring and land on it in midair. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. There's like a really swaggy way that like you'll see really good players do, where they like oh yeah, well there you go. Where they like drop it like as they're like in midair and they like land on it. Then like I don't know how they do it honestly. I like have no clue. Something like that, but better. Because I'm still not getting the height there, but they do something like that. I don't know. I'm not good enough for that. So to teach you how to do it easily, hold it against the wall, drop it before the highest part of your jump, release both Y and B, then press both as you land on the spring. So you are going to do this and that. So you're letting go. You're doing it at a slightly different spot than, so remember, like a shell jump, you'd want to let go like here. And you can do a shell jump essentially with a spring jump. That's totally doable. But it is a little tougher. So I think the easiest way is to just do this. So that let go of both, jump back on top. You want to do the shell jump way, have fun. Part of the reason it's slightly tougher is because of just the way that springs, they kill your momentum as you throw them. They're really awkward. As you grab them, they kill your momentum. As you throw them, they can kill your momentum if you don't throw them at the right time. It's like, as you're rising, if you throw them, it hurts your momentum. But if you're like falling, it doesn't or something. I don't really know. Okay, I should have read the thing. I didn't think I read, maybe I didn't read the thing on the other one. How good is cool pre-release sequel? Well, thank you, SMB Slayer. It's going pretty good. So yeah, as per usual, the tests are intended to be beaten at your own pace. So you're gonna grab that, ride Theodore. There used to be water here, and it was like teaching you about like layer 2 and layer 3. But I ended up getting rid of that part. So you know, bad. So again, I think it's easiest to do it that way. You can see I spun because I was hitting the spin jump inside that time. You get that, you got the 1F0, and then this one's a little trickier than the other. There it goes. Oh, yeah, SMB Slayer. So it's an updated hack with similar intent as Learn to Kaizo. Yeah. The original Learn to Kaizo is by Nexus, who's still around, but not you might not see them around a whole lot. But yeah, I got their permission to call this 2Kaizo2Learn, so I appreciate that a whole bunch. It was indeed an inspiration, yeah. So this is a bunch of just kind of random stuff in this next part. Because, I don't know, you need to learn it, but I didn't know what to call it all once it was together. So we're going to learn about all the things that Chucks can do. Chucks can run through these turn blocks and break them, and can also hop over small barriers, kind of similar to the other one. So it's a little tricky to mention how Chucks die. So it says they take 3 bow hits on the helmet to kill, with a small time of invincibility after each hit. So we'll watch that happen here. We already hit it once with a bow hit. Here it goes like, wow. And there's a third, and it dies. But if we like sit on top of it, woo, you can see you can get extra hits before it dies. And that's because it's invincible essentially when it's like that. So that's 2 and 3. So you want to get it, like lure it out there. And 1, 2, 3 free, and 3 is going to kill it. There's a secret there, but I won't show you. You can get it on your own. So this is Dig and Chuck. Dig and Chuck digs up small rocks that hurt Mario to the touch. So you can see here are the rocks. If I jump on it without spinning, it hurts. If I run into it, oh no, that. Oh, I got the spin. If you run into it with not your feet, it also can hurt you. So they're you can spin on them, but otherwise they harm you. So like anything, you know, spinning, you can just kind of run over them. This is Pass and Chuck. As the name implies, kicks footballs at Mario. These footballs are just going to be spun or just to destroy or bounce on with a normal jump. So here we're going to want to bounce on with a normal jump, but as you can see, you can spin on them. They do have like a specific timer between it. Also, the footballs bounce in a RNG pattern. Yeah, you can see that here. These are not patched, okay? So it goes bounce, bounce, or sometimes it's going bounce, big bounce. Most good hacks will patch out that RNG depending on what they want you to do. This one's called Confused Chuck because he's football man, but he throws baseballs. These are literally the names, by the way. I looked them all up. If you are at a certain height, those baseballs are thrown higher. Really confusing, I know. You can jump right before a throw to manipulate that and run through safely. So you can see, of course that's a beast layer. I appreciate it, no worries. He'll jump up and throw them higher if he jumps while you're in the air. So it's like similar to actually a Chuck Gate in wanting to like get him to jump up. And then all of these are high enough. Whereas if you wait, he starts throwing them low again. The other thing is, so they do a specific pattern of throws. So when I wait up here, it's just, they just do it every once in a while. But if you do this, they do like, I forget, it's like 5 before I think it varies based on where you place them, but they do like 5 in a row. You can see they're closer placed than they are if you do the max time with the jump like this. You want to do that. You can get through 2 ways here. So the easiest way is just to run under. You also can spin jump on his helmet. Oh, there you go. He threw, what was that, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's 5. Okay. Yeah, so that's how trucks work. This level is like so similar, and I know they're back to back, so it's a little weird, but here we're gonna learn about fish type things. So this fish, I think it's called a cheap. Oh, cheap. Yeah, there it is. Swims back and forth, pause and leaps there. So it's swim, swim, leap, swim, 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 pause. Oh, there's pause. Leap. So when you like enter, it is on a slightly different timer than when after it's jumped once. So it's best really just to go for it right away, but we'll watch it through again another time here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's gonna pause. Yeah, there it is. And the coin is like approximate here, but it helps to aim. So there it is. This is Rip Van Fish. This is one of the coolest. It's also very annoying. This one's very annoying in water, which I'm sure you remember if you played vanilla. But you can spin on them when they're out of water. And you can actually do this fun trick with them. So once you wake them up, they can start moving. So you can pull them in whatever direction you want to go. So they'll like start to follow. You can do that. You don't have to do those high bounces. You can pull them just by sitting right on them like this too. You do run the risk of them falling asleep if you go too slow. Foo is really tough. So they will, out of water, keep falling at a slow pace. In water, they move straight up instead. It's really, or move up at a slow pace instead. It's really weird. So they're gonna move back and forth to follow you, kind of like the ribbon fish, but instead, the screen scroll also affects where they're at. So yeah, it's just weird. So you can, there it is. You can see them moving along with the screen as it scrolls, but they don't go as fast as the screen scroll, but they still kind of keep up with it. So it's a really awkward pacing to get used to. And as I said, your best bet is to kind of just get in front and ride them out. Just pull, pull, pull. That one you are going to want to do with those big jumps. If you do it with smaller jumps, it's still doable, but it's going to be tougher, I think. Vines and beans. Let's learn about those, yeah. So this is a sky tree where essentially you are growing a vine and you also need to like let it continue to grow. And you need it at the end. One of the big things about being on a vine is that when you jump, you need to let go of up. If you aren't, you will grab the vine immediately again, and you will make like no progress. You have to not be holding up. You have to press up to move up the vine, but then when you want to jump, you have to let go of up, and it's very tricky to get used to. So what you're going to want to do here, and there's a bunch of different things. So this cement block, it's just going to go through as you get it going, but it won't go through this turn block. So you have to hit this turn block. It'll go eat through this cloud, but you have to hit this turn block. And then if you are climbing up the vine, you won't get hit by that. But if you jump, you will get hit by that. So essentially what we're going to do is get it started. Move here, jump, and climb. You can see you got a treat of a moon up here if you can risk the jump to get it. Let's see what that looks like if I'm pressing up while I jump, so just so you get a better visualization of how that looks when you're doing it wrong. Yeah, you can see I was jumping. Like I'm pressing it, you can hear it, but I'm barely moving because I'm sticking right to the vine as soon as I let go, or as soon as I have done the beginning of the jump. And you jump higher than you realize, so give Mario a little credit when you're on the vine. It has more time than you expect for most of those jumps. They're always holding up. I didn't even realize they're holding up. But I noticed when I grabbed the vine right away again. Alright, I'm gonna go through the door. This one, I forgot I put a practice bean in here. Alright, this is a practice bean. So green beans are pretty fun. You bounce on them at a set maximum height if you are holding for the maximum, which is going to vary the distance, further to the distance away from the wall you are. If you press B, this is a backwards. If you're holding that B, you get to that max jump height. If you just press B, you have a smaller jump. So let's like look at it here. If I press B, I can do this. And if I hold B, I'm always going to jump to that height. So that's a consistent height. If you press B, it can be a little tougher to make it consistent because it's consistent on how long you press jump for. Right, so you can do a really tiny jump by pressing B just a tiny bit. But that max height is an easy, consistent way. Oreos, all right, let's go. So as you hold, let's hold B and move away, and you'll see that that keeps getting higher and higher and higher. Right, so even when I'm on the edge here, this outer part, I can still do a smaller jump, but that smaller jump is also bigger now. So the two things that affect your height on a bean are how far away you are and how long you're holding jump for. I think it's easiest to try and aim for holding B down and doing the distance as your modifier for how high you want to jump. But some things won't let you do that. So excited. Oh, thanks, Oreos. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're getting so close. I think it's like pretty much ready to go. This is mostly me testing it to see if it works or not. Green beans also do this weird screen scroll thing. So if you put them near screen boundaries, you can just not die when you fall into a pit and instead just wrap through. But now if we bounce back up, we won't bounce back up through it. I don't know if this will let me bounce back up, actually. There it goes. See, I actually still will bounce above the screen now, so... Very bizarre. So here you can see if I'm holding here, I'm too low. If I'm holding here, I'm just a little bit too low. If I'm holding here, that's going to help give the distance I want. And there's still a little bit of space out here. If you get right to the edge of the bean, though, you get into dangerous territory where you, like, can slip off instead of actually, like... Get it? Yeah, there I'm starting to do it. You can see I'm slipping as I'm running for a little bit on it. So you don't want to be there too much if you can avoid it. So, again, jumping here, we don't want to jump into those munchers. So really looking around that the edge of that second bean, a little bit further. Teeny bit further. There it is. And I set this up on purpose, where it's just high enough that you can not die here. I don't know if I know what you mean by a 2-frame jump, Michelangelo. But tell me more. Also, thank you, Oreos. I appreciate it. Okay. So we already actually saw Paragoombas, but here they are with bombs instead. So these parachute ones are tougher to like jump on, just because I think they're really like finicky. Like they'll like juke you basically. The thing in Kaizo one that keeps killing you? I do not think so. No. 2-frame jump. I don't even know. I don't think I know what a 2-frame jump is. So it's like. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, the lowest jump you can do? No. No, I think Kaizo Kindergarten does a great job at teaching you about jump height. That is far beyond what we need to do here. So just teaching you about bombs. So another thing about bombs is that you can so they will explode after a certain amount of time, but you can reset the timer by kicking it horizontally, but not vertically. So if I kick it vertically, I can do that all day and it'll blow up eventually. But if I kick it horizontally, I can do this all day and it will never blow up on me. So you can also carry it and kick it at your will every once in a while. It was a long part to, okay, so, but anyways, in practice, you don't have to kick it all that much. Just enough, and where it's safe to do so and easy enough to do so. Dang it, I saw it about to blow and I wanted to try and grab it right before it blew, so I could give it a little kick. Oop, I kicked that one vertically for a second. That was dangerous. You also could just run right into it if you want there. So this one's a little tricky, and a lot of people hate these. There actually is a patch to fix these too that I just played in a hack recently, which was very nice. It's in Super Chamber World. But in general, it's not really as janky as people sometimes make it out to be, if you time it right. So when the bomb explodes, you are able to spin jump off of the explosion, but you can only do so when the stars are maximally at their furthest distance. So I will just let it explode and show that for a second. So you're gonna see it's gonna go out and in and out and in. Yeah. like that. And so you need to do it when it's at that like out spot. So we'll set that up again. And so what I do is I spin jump and I kind of just rest there and it kind of just does it for you. Like when you're at the right spot. And it's like weird to say. But like, I don't know. I find it to be, and again, it doesn't work every time, but I find it to be a lot more consistent than trying to do in any other way. That one I jumped too early. There's a bit of timing too, you know, it's not a trick you'll see a whole lot, but I think it's a really pretty one. And that's why I wanted to share it still. It's pretty and it feels good when you do it. Like, it's very satisfying in my opinion. So this teaching about 1F zeros. That's that line. We've already seen it. So it puts sprites in a falling state. And so, for example, these which were in the air and fell, now we're stuck here and they're stuck in that falling state. So we can still spin jump on them. And they'll just hang out there forever. Here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the Koopa movement to go. So we're gonna spit this Koopa out of this blue Koopa by hitting it on the left. And then we jump on that Koopa, and then that Koopa will wake up by the time we get over there. We'll do that one more time. I put that coin as like a somewhat indicator of when you should jump on the Koopa. But it's not like entirely necessary. I think you can actually skip jumping on this Koopa if you time it just right, but it's tricky. So I have the Koopa there is a little help. That's in Greasy. Oh, nice. Here we're gonna ditch and remount Yoshi. This can, if you don't ditch it just the right time, Yoshi can bounce off of this wall rather than go under it. So be prepared for that. But if you ditch at the right time, Yoshi flies right under. He goes at the speed that you let him go, actually. So if you are barely moving, then he's going to move slower. And if you're going really fast, he's going to go faster. I don't know if you can tell the difference there of the speed, but let's try and go really slow when we do the ditch. No, it was not slow at all. That one actually was going to the left. There's the slower ditch. So he's going to inherit this X speed that you have when you drop him on there, because that's also his X speed. So here, I made the most annoying possible sound. So you're going to drop this key on the thing, it's going to move, and then you walk on it. You can kick the key, but when you kick the key, it's not going to go at a speed that you can walk on it consistently. So it'll just like fly across, and you don't want that. You want to be able to walk on it. So you walk here. You can actually key grab here, which you haven't learned yet. But there's a little safety spot here, so if you don't know how to do that or aren't good at it, you can just fall right on there or just mess it up. It all happens. Yeah. Oh, we got keys aplenty coming soon, Oreos. So this is just putting together these tricks from this section. Did I say the right section? Fourth, yes, I did. Okay, great. So you do the bomb jump over onto that platform. This is a four tile platform. So you can't walk on these clear ones. Those are sprite solid, but Mario will go right through them. So technically, you can get P speed here and avoid the bomb jump if you really hate it. I think it's way harder to get P speed. I mean, getting P speed on 4 tiles is pretty tough, but you can do it. You want Chuck, we learned about, feels like a long time ago now, to break those. And then we're gonna jump here with the right jump size that we can use. And then you want to jump over, get that key. This is actually used as a trick. So this is kind of a weird, because I have a feeling that most beginners aren't going to struggle with this, but I have actually had a lot of testers struggle with it. which isn't generally a good thing to say. Usually you'll expect that the experts will struggle less with a thing than a beginner will. But I really believe it will be the case here. It's like a little bit of sometimes knowledge, you have sometimes too much knowledge, right? So we're just gonna jump right back, and people have tried to like ride everything on there and do whatever. So the Goomba is obvious that you can jump back on him, I think, in a lot of ways because he's like that. But I think for some reason, when I've had a lot of people play this, they didn't realize that you could hit the bomb a second time. But the bomb still just got its normal bomb timer, right? So it's a parabomb. So when you hit it, at first it just turns into a normal bomb in a falling state. And then you're able to jump on it. But if you wait too long, you can be stuck and not get through. Yeah. It's totally open, like Star said. So this just keeps progress, but you can go literally anywhere you want. You want to?
I'm going to take this moment and hang up and go to bed.
Sounds good. I thought you may be there soon.
Okay. I'll still be in chat for a bit.
Okay, sounds like a good plan.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye. So yeah, you want to jump right to the Cape Shell jump? You can do that. You need to come back and learn, you're just starting out and you want to practice more your shell skills, your shells stuff at the end. Okay. Ios, it's good to see you. So this is a block grab, which is a frame. So as this says, it's a frame perfect trick, but you get to choose the frame. So it's a little tricky. So land on the block and press Y and B at the same time. So, all right, you're standing on it and you have to press Y and B on the same frame, but you don't have to there's no you have to do it on this frame. You can do it on any frame. I tend to have it to be a bit easier by kind of doing a little weird press motion when I do it. So I'm like, ooh, huh. And that's I think I've heard some people even say to make a noise while they do it. To get it to work right. It takes a lot of practice to get it to work right. If you press jump before you press Y, you'll just jump off it, which is nice. And if you press Y first, you will am I gonna phase through? No, okay. If you press Y first, you will grab it and fall down, which is not so nice. So we'll show you both ways. So if you're trying to grab them both and you do that, that means you press Y first. If you're trying to grab them both and you do that, oh, I didn't do it right. And you do that, that means that you only got B first. That was just B. That one was just Y. Look, I did it even when I was just trying to show in better context, and then you just kind of kick it in there. Is this one where we get to keys? Oh yeah. There we got some keys. We got some keys coming. I was hoping we were getting there. For you, Oreos. Oh, so I just made this one kind of new recently. So this is about item juggling. So sprites can interact with each other and destroy each other, which is sometimes you want that and sometimes you don't. So here, for example, if I jump on this Goomba while I'm holding it, sometimes it'll work, or sorry, this Koopa while holding another shell, but sometimes they'll crash into each other. And it can be tough to get right. It's working pretty well here, but that's also because I know how to do it. So what you want to do here is you're going to want to be kicking this up, and that's going to help you get through. There they are running into each other really nice and easy. So if you kick it up, it just gets it out of the way. This one's got a lot of sprite kill things just to try and make it work smooth for you. You kick it there, and then it lands in this 1F0 for you, and you get it back. Here, these ninjas will get killed by it, so you need to go back and forth. So you're just gonna go back that way and that way. Here, you're gonna want to just kick it into this to open it up, and then it'll despawn it for you, and you're good to go. This is a little puzzly. Here is double carry. So sometimes rather than juggle two items, you can carry them both at the same time, or juggle an item. There, you were only juggling one. So you can, some places will have you, do a thing where you have to be oh, I'm taking both of these all the way through here, whatever, right, and juggle them. But if you put them next to each other and slide into them, you can just grab them both. It's a little tricky sometimes. It's pretty easy to do with keys and P switches compared to other things, but you can double carry other stuff as well. Like this is just a good one. You can do it with like springs and P switches too, and springs and keys, and you can even do it with shells, but it gets really tough to do with shells. Well, like technically you can. Keys don't despawn, so you also, oh yeah, so also the key itself like won't despawn, so if you want to just like take the key and throw it on the other side of this thing, you can. And that would work fine, but it's more fun to do this way. You can carry infinite springs, I believe. Oh, sounds dangerous. Double carry, yeah. So this is the same thing as the block grab. Like, it's literally the same trick. It's just you do it with a key. Like, no real difference there. You just should know you can also do it with the key. Here, what we're going to do instead is you can spin grab it. So if you press X and A instead of Y and B on the same frame, you can spin it. And I didn't know that for a very long time, and I think it's really cool. And that's why I decided to share it with you. Also, you need to put this key down here so you can go through the door. So it gives you a little support, a little boost. So key drops are pretty tricky, and if you get here and you get really stymied by this, don't worry. Feel free to just move on. They're pretty tough. So, okay, I'm just going to take it place by place. So you kick it onto this level. All right, done. Get the key up to the next level by doing a key grab. So Y and B at the same time, but drop the key quickly beneath you. I usually press down the whole time to make that work easier, but it really doesn't make it any easier in most regards. It just, for me, helps me to know that I'm going to drop it. It doesn't really make anything else easier about it. So you're landing on it, you're sitting here. Remember, as you're jumping, you need to let go of Y before you land on it. Otherwise, you'll just grab it. So I do it by pressing it, but you don't need to. So you can just do that. Key grab, let go. Key grab, let go. This is a fairly tricky type of maneuver. However, you will see it in fairly early hacks. So it's in the Nightmare Cafes, which I have seen people play fairly early in their Kaizo career. There's quite a bit of key shenanigans. So I did put it in here because I thought I had to learn it while playing that. And I had, people in chat who taught me how to do it, which I appreciate very much. I think it was probably John. I know John was at least there and helping quite a bit. So maybe not exclusively though. Anyways, so that's how you do it. And then you key grab one more time. And of course, go through. This is going to teach you the key jump, which is, it's kind of wild. So there's like an infinite key grab. You can start with the key grab on the ground, throw it at the wall, or hold it into the wall. Fall. So the last part is the main part. Fall on the key in midair and do a key grab to pluck it out of the air and gain extra height. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, and that's kind of what it's trying to tell you. Is you can like kick it and get on top of it and grab it like that. That is the way that apparently nobody does it except for me. I think it's super swaggy and I love it. Usually what people will do, and this is more consistent over time, is you can do it by into a wall like this. So you do that. Oh, well, now I just lost it. All right. Mow. We do need the key to come with us. You can do it. You can like jump off of it that last time and not grab the key and like get over, but that's not going to be good for us. We want that key in our hands. All right, there it is. So, I mean, technically you could just do that here. If you really want to practice, here is the spot to do that. Just infinite key jump your way up. I'm not good at that, so instead I'm going to do the vine carry. So to carry on an item of vine, you need to catch it while holding onto the vine, or grab it while holding onto the vine. So there's really two ways to do this, and I said this way. So you can kick it up into the air and grab it while you're on the vine. But actually, you also can just grab it by holding Y as you're on the vine. So if you're on the vine and you hold Y, and you can just whoop. Boop. You also can boop. Boop. But you can't start climbing while you're holding it, importantly. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting trick, and you will see this a lot in Kaizo. So to carry things on a vine, you do what you just did, but here you want to move this key across this whole area. So you're gonna basically be doing that kick and then catching it while you're on the vine. So the problem with that is if you are just jumping, you like totally yeet that key. So, because the key takes on your speed. So what you want to do is you actually want to slow down by pressing left till you're basically stopped, and then kick it in the air, and then you can grab it. And that is the way more consistent way to do that trick. It's not as fancy, but it's way more consistent. You can, of course, do like a thing where you just like totally like bring it along and don't care at all about doing this. But I think it's way better. I mean, it's a much more consistent thing if you have a setup like that to stop it. It can be really tricky to get used to freezing that momentum just right, so don't worry if that takes you a while. If you hold down, okay, so moving on. Down swim, if you hold down while you swim differently. So that is while you're holding down, you make these tiny little swims versus a swim. Swim, down swim. Down swim, you can see, gives you a bunch of control. And that's why it's good. If you press down and right, you can move, or left. So you can even get through these really small gaps here by doing that. Here's an even smaller gap. Here you have to shift right and left a little bit just to get going. But then as you fall through it, you just have to do a couple little bumps. I made it look easy because I'm used to doing these, and down swim I generally like. Although I did just stop playing a swimming level to come play this instead. But yeah, so that might take you plenty of time. Don't feel bad. Also, down swim requires you having a good consistent down button. If you're playing on a controller that is kind of worn out or doesn't work as good, you're playing on a Nintendo or just one that doesn't have a good D-pad, like the Switch Pro controller has a terrible D-pad for Kaizo. That will show when you're trying to down swim. Okay, so upswim, it goes up very fast, and you can kill that momentum by pressing down. So here, if I look up, and then I can swim, I go woo right past them, except I just didn't do the timing quite right. Woo! Still didn't do it right. But if I just hold up, then I run into that. So I'm going to want to press down to stop, and then I start down swimming, so I don't crash into it again. Press up swim to go through it fast. That one I didn't need to press up swim, but I just like to. To get through here, you have to walk. By the way, you cannot swim through this. You will die. So just be prepared. And then to descend through here, I find down swimming to be nice. So you just go down. You can probably fall through that whole thing if you time it just right without having to press do a down swim at all, but it's going to get you a lot more consistent. Usually when I do an upswim, I kind of press it twice, and I don't know why, but it seems to be more consistent for me. I don't know if that is necessary, if there's a specific reason for it or what. So, take it with a grain of salt. It says item swimming. So when you swim with an item, it gives you a very different swim feel, and it will take time to get used to. So you basically are being pulled up at all times, and you also can move really fast. So you can press down to counteract this, either by pumping as you're swimming, or you can just stay on the ground. And then left and right can control your speed. So you can see here I'm pressing down, and I just cruise along the bottom. And that's it pulling me up. If I just let it go, I just hold on the top. Then I can bloop. You go faster there, and you get that good. This block is a block for a reason. You're gonna grab this key. So this is gonna look smooth if I do it right. I might just die, who knows. What you're gonna wanna do, you really wanna make sure you think about that right and left. I think a lot of people don't use that, and it is to their peril. It really increases your swim speed a ton. So if we're swimming here, and we go right and down, it just works. I've seen a lot of people test this that don't do that right. So don't be one of them. So right, you go fast. Now when I just press down a little too early. And then press down. So let's try again. Right, down, boom. Just hold down through. The reason is to show you where to stand to start to do that movement. Thanks for asking, Star. Star asked why that block is a block, and that is why. So you start that whole momentum right at that block. Swim through dolphins. You are supposed to swim through them. So if you do a down swim, you can phase through things like these dolphins or also platforms that move up into water. So here we have to die. But if I'm pressing down and swimming as I'm coming out of this pipe, I'll go right through them. Show you one more time. We can even do it while pressing right. That's a pretty common move. You'll need to see that, and you'll see that a decent amount of water levels. Again, it can also be a platform as well, and it acts basically the same way. There might be other things you can too, I'm not sure. So this is trying to just put those things together. So a little bit of the keys, a little bit of swimming. This one's gonna be a fairly difficult test. So this one is definitely one. I mean, all of the tests are like, don't really worry too much about completing them, but this one especially, I would say this is gonna, I think, will be a sticking point if you are really intent on beating this all in order. But there's a reason that it's an open overworld. It's so you don't have to beat it all in order. So feel free to not beat it in order. So here we have a key, but oops, I forgot my key. Oh no. Forgot my key. Use the pipe below and be more careful next time. Also, if you die, you don't despawn. You don't spawn with the key. So gotta go get it. All right, here's our key. Also, if you try to take the key through, you are punished for it, because I didn't realize it would do it. So you lose the key and then you get it. I mean, not really punished, you just get the key back. Did remove my most favorite part, which is you could previously stick this key in the wall, and you can't do that with the thing there. But okay. Anyways, go get yourself a key. And now we're gonna do that trick again, right? So we're gonna, well, okay. I definitely meant to keep the key that time. I had enough of Gangsta's Paradise for the moment. I really was trying to do that correctly. Okay, so kick it, land on it without holding Y. I think you can just key grab right over this. I don't think you need to. You don't need to do a key drop to get up to the top there. If you want to practice it, you can, but that should be enough if you land it in the right spot. And then again, you can do this however you're most comfortable. I think most people will want to do it that way. I actually really don't love this way, but that's the way everyone likes, so. There we go. I would choose to do like, maybe I'd choose to do it that way now. Whee! Okay, so that's it. Okay, so this is just kind of random stuff that is tough. It's called the Get Good section. This first one's not so tough. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's kind of weird. I didn't know where to put it, so I put it here. Here's a couple things. So you can kick this up into a turn block to get it spinning. I'm also trying to pause buffer it out, which is not a trick that you need to know in most Kaizo. That is a useful one. There it is. If you do know how to do it. And also, so if you're like close, I don't remember exactly the distance, but if you're close enough to a thing as you kick it, it won't hurt you when it comes back. You get like a certain amount of time that you're invincible. If I kick it here and it bounces back, it will hurt me. And if I kick it here, it will not. Hooray. So whichever way you want to get through that, you can also do that same thing here, or you can just stand up here and kick it, whatever. I don't care. And you want to get P speed here and jump. There was another way that was set up to do it first, but it was really tough. Hey, Black Dragon Yu-Gi-Oh! So here, you want to just keep that mole alive and get to the end. Bring mole to the end by clearing the path, spin jump on his head at the end and ride to victory. So, this is a pretty common type of level, and I'm kind of just showing you what it looks like here for funsies. Like, this doesn't teach you a whole lot of new skills necessarily. I know that, but... it teaches you a little bit about moles, and moles are important, so there's some value. The moles can cross single tile gaps, but they cannot cross double tile gaps. You also can kill moles by like hitting a coin block underneath them, so do be careful of that. I didn't do it here because I didn't remember until I was at the end. P switches. Oh, this one's an easy one because this just teaches you that P switches work. So you can activate P switch, get through the one tile gap. Oh, there's a one tile gap that's a little tough. So I'll show you that. So it changes this. It can add blocks. To get through this, you do that. That sped up faster than it usually will because it had all the extra time while we were reading the message block. That's why it started getting really, really fast sounding at the end there. Mid-air P activation, you're gonna basically you want to take this P switch and make it active while you're making this jump. So, right, if you jump here, you're just gonna fall through on it. So what you said you want to do is you want to jump and kick it there. I did extend that a little bit. It's a little tricky. So let's try it a few times. I might have to fix that. Throw the switch into the ceiling and hold B as you fall. If you throw at the right time, the switch will fall onto your feet and activate it. So you just do that. And you're holding B. So you want to kick it a little sooner. There it is. And you can't really see it working so well here, but that's because it's set up to really kind of just work. Can you jump off of it on this one and make it? Yes, you could do that. If you want to jump off of it here, you could do that. And that would be effective, but it's going to be tough. You also can do a mid-air activation off of a wall, like here. Those are a little less common. And again, yeah, it sounded kind of like a shell jump because it kind of is. I mean, you kick it and you have to hit it as it's falling. You do need to not be holding Y as you run into it. But you want to grab it soon after, because if you are holding Y, you'll just grab it in your hands. Or it'll fly above you. There it is. So basically, you just have to be like landing on it. You have to be a little bit above it and fall on top of it, etc., etc. This one is the jump one. Yeah. The jumps, or P-switch jumps, are pretty tricky. Basically, as you're jumping on it, the moment you contact it, if you press B or A, you will jump off of it. And you need to do it on the exact frame that you hit it. It's pretty tough. Here, see? Super tough. I'm taking it. I'm not trying again because I know how long it's going to take if I try again. We're going to die here to it. We won't get it this time. Usually what happens instead is you'll crush the switch without jumping off of it. But yeah, they're a single frame trick in SMW, so if you're used to those in Mario Maker or something, they're a lot easier in Mario Maker. If you're at a Switch Palace and there's a Switch Palace switch, it's the same trick, but you don't get to practice it as much. Okay, so let's look at some disco shells. Discos take a minute to learn, a lifetime to master, just like Othello. Whichever side you hit on, you will be bounced off in that direction with a unique force. Holding B will give you a bigger bounce versus not. Okay, so it's kind of hard to describe them without just kind of playing around on them, honestly. I think it's good to practice with holding B because you can really get an idea of how to correct and you can see it move and stuff. And you just get bigger jumps. I mean, you only need one jump off of this to make it across that entire gap. But you can see if I'm on the left, if I hit it on the right, I go to the right. If I hit it on the left, I go to the left. The animation changes depending on which side you hit it on. And you also can kind of correct you want to basically kind of correct as you're flying off and push in the direction you want to go. And you can kind of go there regardless of which way you get pushed. So the push isn't a super strong force. You can overcome it. One of the other things is I find when you're trying to mount a disco shell, it's best to do it when it's not bouncing because it gets annoying once it's starting to bounce. To time it right. But if you can't, you can't. But I usually find it easier to kind of go at it right away. You'll see I'm jumping way out in front of it. If you have the ability to do that, that is a much easier way to get onto it. Sometimes you will be kept from being able to do that. It just happens, People will set them up different ways. So here you're going to use some big old jumps to get over these. And the other thing I said is that you kind of need to keep it going with you. This is going to be a bit more where you have to do that. So I use left rights a lot to do that. You can see I'm holding my position in the air by freezing my momentum by pressing left here a lot. The other thing you can do is you can let go of Y, and you slow down. I don't like that that way of doing it myself. But I do think a lot of other people do it. I think it's a more advanced way to do it, and maybe is necessary in some very niche applications. So you should be aware that you can do that. But you will probably not find yourself. Again, I've played a ton of beginner hacks, and I've not ever had it where I've needed that to successfully do it. So here, you can't do those big jumps anymore. We're going to have to ride slower underneath this ceiling. So to do that, you have to surf on the disco shell, is at least how I call it. I've heard other people say it too. You find a spot near the top, but still on the right of the shell, so near that top right edge. And if you do it right, you can let go of B, hold Y, and you just cruise with the shell holding steady beneath you. So again, this is one where you want to kind of jump out at the right time to help line it up. You can see that whole time I'm not pressing B at all. I'm just pressing Y and right. You can do things if you don't get that timing right to correct for it by pressing left and right, or if at the beginning here you can reset and with doing a big jump to get the positioning right. Disco shells are really tricky to learn, again, exactly how you want them to work. But you can see if you hit it in just the right spot, you can kind of ride right across here. Get it one more time. You also could be letting go, you know, I'm not letting go of Y here. I could let go of Y and that'll affect my speed and can help to make it easier in certain spots, you know. It's, again, there's like a million people will tell you a million different things on the best way to disco shell surf, and they're all right. Like, I'm not like, no, there's no wrong way, and I think the people who are, anyone who offers you suggestions, you should listen to them, but also know that there's some things there's one right way of doing it, and others there's, you know, ways that are right for you. So here we're going to just do a couple other things with them. So you can spin him to kill a disco shell, but we are going to need this one, so don't kill it right away. And then you can bounce off a disco shell in midair, but they will still move in midair, so you have to be careful with that. So here we let it bumps into that and starts it turning. Here we can kill it because now it's opened that up for us, and then we bounce off and go. We got pretty lucky there. Oreo said, I'm so impressed with the balance of this hack. It's the perfect amount of teaching and challenging. Oh, thank you. Learn to Kaizo isn't detailed enough, and Kaizo Kindergarten is too detailed. Yeah, thank you. So many new players are going to have a better start to their journey. Oh, Oreos, that's so sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you. I was really trying to, yeah. I mean, I definitely loved learning with Learn to Kaizo, which is, I think, obvious by the way I've created this, that its homage is clearly to that, and with the name and everything. But yeah, I think that it's not only maybe not detailed enough, but even more so that just a lot of the things it had were relevant at the time, and some of those are no longer relevant, and there are other things that are more relevant now that aren't included in there. So I thought it was a good time to update it, and then especially to have that open overworld to help players, you know, feel free to move on to different challenges and stuff. So grinder spinning is kind of similar to disco shell riding. I mean, disco surfing, they're both called, you can call this surf as well if you're playing a certain level. So here you just need to match your speed to the grinder. There's a lot of ways to do this too. I'm not going to get too into it. Kaizo Kindergarten does that a lot if you want to. But basically you just want to try and aim out, land on it with some speed. Oop, I didn't mean to hit exit. And then you're going to start riding along it. And then if the timing doesn't feel right, like if you're getting a little too far, you can press left and move back, or press right and move forward more. So there's definitely ways to fix that. So let's see if we can. Okay, I tried to fix it, but I didn't have time. Let's get a little ahead, and then you can press left to slow yourself down there. I did it too much. But yeah, I kind of just went all over the place to try and... Okay, yeah, I did it there, but I didn't recapture it, right? So here I'm re-grabbing pretty heavily to get out there. You can see I'm trying to stay on the left-hand side here, but I have to balance it a little. If you do it right, if you get the timing just right on it, you don't actually, you can just let it go. But it can be tough to lock in that right timing. So you're basically pressing left and right a lot until you get that right timing. That one was pretty close to locked in, but I was going a little slow and I could see it, but I thought it wasn't going to count. Oh yeah, I hear you, Isla. Isla got a ribbon dancer. That timing, that actually was the right timing, but I didn't line up right. Okay, timing is right. Go, and got it. Ella, thank you so much for getting a ribbon dancer. I appreciate it. 26, that's amazing. Isla, so close to that leaderboard. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Jinky woo. So those are pretty much, you know, I tried to tie everything together and do a test here. So you do a mid-air P-switch activation. Into a surf, into another disco ride. Or into a disco ride, into a surf, into another disco ride. So technically you don't need to do the mid-air activation there to get that to work, but it is tricky to time it without it, and I think it's good practice just to do it. But I do recognize if you smack it here, you can lead it off just right, but a lot of times it'll get stuck. And it will never get stuck if you do that. This actually has an H because there's a trick here that we haven't seen, but I didn't really want to give it its own spot. So it's similar to the spin poof that you can basically, as you're crushing this P-switch, get a little bit of distance on it. It kind of it gives you the time as it's crushing to be able to survive. So you could jump there and like be super awesome and survive, but also you can oh, these floating munchers. I kind of like the floating munchers. Did I ever hate them? I don't know. I think it's fun. So you can kind of crush it and just go through, use that momentum to get through. Okay, Yoshi section. This one should be pretty fast. There's not a lot to do in Yoshi section. So Yoshi needs to eat 5 things to grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it actually double 8 there, which is why the glitch is like that. And then you just get rid of Yoshi, because Yoshi is, you know, likes to be gotten rid of. Okay, so for colors, a green shell you just spit out, a blue shell will make Yoshi fly, a red shell you will spit it out as fire, and a yellow shell you'll get stomp power. So that will be true regardless of whatever color Yoshi is, except for the green shell, in some specific cases. So also whatever color Yoshi you are will give you those powers with any color shell. So if you're a yellow Yoshi, you will get stomp power regardless of what color shell you eat. If you are blue Yoshi, you will fly regardless of whatever color shell you have. If you're red Yoshi, you will spit fire after eating any shell. That one just spits normally. If I was red Yoshi, I would have spit out as fire. So it's good I wasn't red Yoshi. I was red shell, so I spit it out as fire. Oh yeah, I was trying to not ditch Yoshi. I should have just... Oh, that works. The blue, you fly. And the Yoshi flight's a little weird. Like this kind of Yoshi flight, you have to like press B and you kind of like almost are swimming in air. Is like how I think of it a bit. You kind of just are like, you're very heavy and awkward. Okay, so that stomp power will help you here. And then here, we're gonna grow up a red Yoshi because you have to just go and start. And we use the stomp power. And now we're gonna spit, and it's fire. And we're good. So we already did it on the last one because it can't happen there, but a double eat is where you make Yoshi eat 2 things and he thinks he ate 3. If he eats 2 things in quick succession, it will count as 3. So we're actually going to do this twice in this section. We're going to have 3 things and it's going to be a total of 5 because we're going to do 2 double eats. So here what you want to do is you're going to do a quick left, right after the first eat and run through, and it should work fine. You can either listen to the audio cue or you can watch the scores and it should work here. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we didn't get that second double eat because we had let them move too far. We do the left, right there and then run through. If we do it right from the beginning, everything lines up really well. I'll show that one more time. Never seen a Yoshi color training level before this. Oh, thanks, Oreos. The left, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that 5th. You can watch the scores is really the easiest way to see it. But you can hear it too. So Yoshi can do spring jumps or shell jumps, which we both learned already. They're much easier to do. It's funny because spring jumps are easier to do with the Yoshi versus not, and shell jumps are easier to do without. But they both can get used to getting. And they're still pretty tricky with Yoshi. I think if you have Yoshi in a cape, they're free, but if you have Yoshi alone, then they're not. It's weird. So you want to spit the spring mid jump and land back on it to spring. So you want to basically, we're going to try and get a nice amount of height and spit it at this marker here. So let's go here like that and jump. There it is. So here, you want to spit it out. Eat the shell and spit as you reach the peak of your jump. A quick left right might help you time. I think a left right is always a good plan here. You kind of just there. I wish I had like an easy like, oh, this is how you do it, but you kind of just practice. That one I spit too early. That one I spit too late. That one I would have spit too late if I hadn't pressed left to kill my momentum and get it to work. And these are fairly rare, but I just thought that would made sense to talk about them in context of a Yoshi. The springs you will see on occasion, more often I would say than the shell, but you should get comfortable with both. I would say it's never going to be a bad thing to know how to do. So we haven't learned a lot about Yoshi yet, so there wasn't a ton that we had to learn about Yoshi, so we're just gonna do this. So here we're gonna eat those 5 things. We've got a double eat here, but we actually want to avoid that double eat first and go back and get this second. That seemed to confuse people, so I hope that putting that 2 there will make that clear. And then this double eat is free. You just sit there. You want to use that to get this, and then you're gonna do a spring jump. Didn't quite make that one. So you do have to be a little tricky about it, because if you spit it too late, you will still land back on it, but you'll land back on it too late to get the height that you need. You'll be spitting out a little earlier than you think you need to, probably. And of course, you always gotta ditch a Yoshi. Cool. All right, so we got cape and shell and a couple more and then a final test. Okay, with the cape holding jump causes you to float slowly toward the ground, let go to resume falling fast. Let go, okay. The cape float, yeah, you float. Hooray! You float and then you let go, you fall fast. Again. Low. Fast. Low, fast. You'll see that it doesn't respond super quickly necessarily every time. That's because it's on a frame window. You know, if you want to think about it, it's like a bus at a bus terminal. And if you let go of the button anytime before the bus gets there, you have to wait until the bus gets there before you start falling, etc., etc., etc. You know, so yeah, it can be a little tricky. usually cape designers will know how to set it up in a way that you can get around it, but sometimes you'll lose runs just because it's being a pain. So if you duck here, you can get through this small gap. This is also going to teach you really quick about turn blocks. So I've seen this used, so I didn't really know where else to put it, and so I just gave it a little thing here. If you have 4 of these turning, that's the max you can have. So there's 4, 4, 4. If you hit those, the ones above it stop turning again. Can be useful. Here we're gonna what, dive and swoop, right? Yeah, dive bomb. So as you're flying, you press forward and get to a dive state. Diving allows you to pull up in a bigger swoop than normal, and then crashing the ground is good for killing stuff. So here we're gonna so this is what it looks like to fly normally. You just zoop, zoop, zoop. But if you press forward, you go, whoa, and you get this big one. And then when you dive bomb again, you crash. And when you crash, it jolts that up into the on-off switch. This is maybe the toughest, one of the toughest in the hack, in my opinion. So this is the basic flight is generally not tough until you have to do it in a really small area. So okay, you get cape and get P speed, you jump in there to fly. You hold Y to keep in that flight state, and then you press back rhythmically on the D-pad in the direction opposite of the way you're moving. Keep flight. But through tight areas, you want to do smaller pumps. Hold down by tapping B as you press back. Slowing down, sorry, by tapping B as you press back in the D-pad helps when you gain speed by moving forward. Yes, okay, so you're trying to show all of that. So if you're flying, you can see it's very rhythmic. Woo, woo, woo. If I tap B, I slow down until I actually lose my speed there. I went too slow. So there's pretty slow, and then if I tap forward, I can go faster. That time I went into a dive bomb state, and I did not mean to do that. You can kind of get through this without slowing if you're really, really, really good, but it's you can see that's very tight. Here you're going to want to cut that jump short and do it the same. All right, well, we did better than I expected on that, TBH. We'll take it. That can be really tough. So, like, honestly, don't even let that discourage you if you can't get through those really tight sections, because I mean, I don't know. I don't play enough K-Packs because they can be really tough. But, like, beginner K-Packs wouldn't expect you to do much of that kind of stuff. Spinfly is something you're going to see in a lot of, and you'll see this in like cape levels in beginner hacks that aren't cape hacks. So pay attention to this one. So you can use A to take off instead of B, and you don't get to fly as long, so you can't keep that rhythmic flying going. But it's a really interesting type of flight that sets you up for a lot of interesting stuff. So there's kind of two things you can do with Spinfly. One is that you can do that, where you like start the flight, and then as you fall, you can basically tap again to kind of bounce. And I think you can bounce twice even if you time it just right. But usually you'll still see it once. And as you hold that up, you'll continue rising again. The other is that as you land, you can take off again pretty fast if you have the timing right. So let's go here. You dip, regain that speed, you go over. Let's show that one more time. And run, spin, dip up, run into it. I didn't think that was going to be enough. We really almost needed none of that extra speed to grab that tiniest little bit. So in spin flying, Mario can also kind of, you saw it already, kind of holds onto the ceiling. So while you're there, you can move left or right to get enemies out of your way. So you can see, kind of sit there, and you can move around left, right a little bit. So you don't have a lot of time with it.
And I
but a little
have
bit.
to ask for an
If
audition.
you want to go left, right here,
Do you have an audition yet?
Oh, no, I'm not
you have to go left and right and you let it
No,
fall.
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
There's got to be a better way to say that.
Ooh, there's got to be a way to say that. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for the raid and for thinking of me. It's great to see you. It's an early finish for you, Thu. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, if anyone here isn't following Thu, please click on either that thing that popped up or on his name or whatever and that link, and go give him a follow. He has such an awesome stream, such a gamer, plays all sorts of different stuff, and it has so much fun and is so good at doing it. Trying to stream a little earlier sometimes, I understand for sure. What were you playing? Some retro. I too have played the retro. How was retro? How do you what retro did you play? If I know, you probably played a few different things. Superstar Saga. I don't think I know Superstar Saga. Can't make you. I'll try. Did it work? Okay, takeoff timer. When Mario begins flight, his takeoff timer begins. You can gain flight anytime during this timer, even if it hitting an enemy causes you to lose flight. You lose cape, you are not in flight. Okay, so basically what's happening is this isn't even your way. So we're gonna get flight, run into it, and then get flight again after it. So we can do this, and then you get flight again. Now there we didn't do it enough. We didn't take off soon enough after, but if you do it right, you will still have more time. All right. What's okay? Superstar Saga is. I feel like I ought to know what that is, but I do not. And it can be a little tricky. Mario and Luigi RPG. Ah, yes. Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was a Mario one, but that was all I knew for sure. Nice. So it's not so the sequel, the long-awaited sequel to Super Mario RPG. Really fun second time playing through it. Nice. I'm not getting enough flight here, so I'm... Oh, okay. I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Let's try this again. I think I'm not running long enough on the ground afterwards. I think I need to land faster. I'm jumping a little too late. I want to jump here. Maybe a little more still. There it is. Okay, so you can see the timing for that even tricked me quite a bit, so it will take practice to get that to work. And it's a fairly obscure trick, honestly. Like, you're not going to see that in a ton of hacks. After Super Mario RPG, we got a ton of stuff. Nice. Yeah, yep. Paper Mario is obviously the one I think of so much for that. Oh, that's so much fun. If you get hit while in normal flight, Mario will enter spin state and gain a short moment of invisibility. Yeah, exactly. Like that. And he's spinning, so he can jump off of things that spin. Much easier second room. Oh, I didn't look at the thing. Okay, so we're gonna do an assisted sticky fly. So you want to go into a dive, and then right when you get under the kaizo blocks that you'll see, the little golden things, you're gonna pull right back up into them by pressing back, so left in this case. And then you hold that, and you're just gonna float along and stick to the ceiling. And you don't need the Kaizo blocks to do it, but it makes it work easier. So you can see that was actually really scuffed and I still got it. So let's see what it can look like. It should look more like that. Whee! Let's see if we can grab one. It's pretty tough to grab here, but if you time it right, you can grab it without the Kaizo blocks. All right, that's fine. So you pop back up there. If you keep holding left, you'll pop up, so you don't need to worry about that part. How it works as you fly out. Welcome everyone to the stream. By the way, I'm Blue Ribbon Highlight. If you don't know me, I'm a Kaizo Mario streamer and creator. This is my hack that is a tutorial hack that I'm getting prepared to submit shortly. So I'm just kind of playing it through one more time and making sure everything looks good. Yeah, but we also do some variety stuff. I play Zelda randomizers a decent amount. I've been playing Tony Hawk. I bought the new Tony Hawk, or like the remake of the old ones. I've been playing that a bit. You know, other kinds of stuff once in a while. We're working on Invictus as our main hack, but I needed a break from it. I made this entire... Yeah, I did this all. Well, I should say that. I mean, it came from, you know, obviously different people made the music, and it came from, you know... I used the ROM hack race's base ROM. TJB made the little input. Well, yeah. I made most of it. I made enough of it that I can say I made it. and just give credit for the others for the help that I got. Thanks for the G's. Yeah, exactly. iOS knows. Is this my first hack? No, I made Easy Kaizo. So cave shell jumps are easier than normal shell jumps, because you don't have to throw it at the peak of your jump. So as you're falling, you can kind of do it anytime you want. And it's ideal to wait until you hit the shell to regrab Y, simply because otherwise you can run into a problem with spinning it. If you do it at the right time, if you throw it like at the normal shell jump time, regrabbing Y and spinning isn't going to be a problem, but it can be a problem if you do it at a different time. So I'll like show you what I mean. You have to be the right distance, so you have to throw it from the right distance, but as you're falling, you can see you still pop up even if you throw way after the peak of your jump. And you can see hitting that Y is not running into a problem for me there. Now, if you do it from further away, sometimes the Y can like make it work. It can get a little tricky, but yeah. OG learned a Kaizo back in the day? Yeah. Kept hearing things about an actual sequel, but GG for putting it on the end. Passed around to many people. Oh, I didn't know. I had never heard of said sequel or seen said sequel. Unless it's this one. Yeah, it's not an official sequel. This is it's inspired by Learn to Kaizo. Okay, but it's definitely, and it has the two. So like, yeah, it kind of is, but I don't want to like, I want to clarify, you know, like it's inspired so much by Learn to Kaizo, but it is not the same thing. I did get the okay, however, from Nexus to use the name 2Kaizo2Learn. So this is patch turnaround. So basically it's just saying that as you are flying, that if you press X, you will turn around. And that will happen in vanilla as well. However, in vanilla, you will not know, half the time you will be facing the new way and half the time you'll be facing the old way. So it's not consistent in vanilla, it's patched here. The other thing is that when you turn around, your speed can be really funky, so you do want to make sure that you can like know how to control and correct for your speed by pressing back and B and that kind of thing, and how to speed up too. So slow down, speed up, etc. The other thing is, as you're pumping, you want to make sure you do a turnaround at the top of your pump. So if you do it as you're not at the top, it's inconsistent and it gets really wild. You're holding Y so you maintain flight, and then you're turning around at that peak. I'm just glad there's more updated Kaizo practice game. Oh, yeah, of course. Attempted the vanilla cape rooms in learning to fly, and it's so much harder than you ever imagined. It's tough when you don't know that you're going to turn around. It is really tough to plan for anything, right? Like knowing that you're going to turn and face the other direction. Because there's already so many other things that vary too, right? Your speed varies, like et cetera, et cetera. It's already fairly tough. And that's just on turnaround. I mean, there's other things that are patched in most things too. So the cape test is probably one of the hardest things in the game. So I gave you a jam to make it worth it, but like, if you do not succeed at this, like, don't worry. But in the meanwhile, you can, you know. Exactly, Oreos. So if you enjoy flying, check out Learning to Fly. We just mentioned it. It has so much more stuff. So this first room, you have spin, fly, the ceiling trick, having to do that little movement there. Boom, you're through. This one is a little tougher. So you do this, and then you're gonna have to do a really good slow here to climb this. Okay, I didn't even do it right. So turn around. There it is. So I didn't give you a lot of time to gain that height there, so you are going to have to slow down to get that, or turn around a lot and get lucky. Works amazing for the check? Yeah, it does. Okay, and then of course, shells at the end. I used to have shells second, and I moved it all the way to the end, so... I think shell buckets are a really good intro. So for a shell bucket, you set it going, and then you just have to pop off of it. See, the size of the bucket changes how easy or hard it is to land in it, and of course, just timing it. Big buckets are harder. That death was honest, not just for show. So what you're doing is you're kicking it here, and then for these other ones, you're grabbing it and quickly kicking it in midair. So you're holding Y, you grab it, but then you're kicking it out almost as quick as you grab it. You're not just bumping into it. I think you can make that work here with some of them, but that's a different trick that you'll learn later. Instead, you're quick kicking it back out. You already had learned normal shell jumps earlier, so you can go review that if you want. These are shell nudges, or shell bumps. So What you want to do is you knock the shell into a surface and bounce off of it. You need to position Mario to nudge the shell into the wall, and you're holding B to hit as it bounces out. In fact, you have to hold B the whole time, so you fall slow enough to get the setup to work too. I guess you don't have to. You can do it without holding B until you knock into it. It's probably a better thing. Remember, if you hold Y, you're just gonna grab the shell, which will then die when it hits the thing there. So you can see I'm grabbing Y because you get more after you bounce, because then you're going to get more speed. But you don't need to get this to work. You can do it without pressing Y at all. So this one is kind of just free if you just press B. I'll show you that again. Hold B as you go down, and then of course you have to press right to get the gain again. And then you're gonna have to time this one. That one's a little trickier. We'll do that all one more time again. Well, let me actually double check. I don't think this says anything different here. Yeah, no. Okay, it's just teaching you how to do it generally. Okay, I have a small edit for this level before we print. Very tiny, but I think what we do want to do is lift this by a tile or two here, just so we can see that we're that floor. So it works well on here, but it's not going to when we get to if we put this on a CRT, it's not going to look as good. Yeah, it works fine. Ooh. Okay, so we already learned the single shell, so we're jumping quick to the assisted double shell here. So here, in fact, I said to line up the shells, but they're already lined up. Do a shell jump, and as you go up, press and hold Y so you grab the second shell. Use the second shell to do a second shell jump. You'll have to let go of the shell quickly to release before your jump peak. This is kind of like when you're grabbing that shell as in the buckets room, but instead you're moving up with it. And so what you're going to want to do is as you're grabbing it, you're going to want to kick it pretty fast after you grab it. I think that's the major problem that new learners make on it. So you go like, well, okay, I let go way too low there. It still worked, but whoop. Okay, I didn't grab that one. I wasn't holding Y, so that's why that didn't work. Yeah. And I kicked that one a little too soon. Okay, so that timing was about right there. I didn't quite get it, but I was about where I wanted to do it. There, it worked. I didn't push just because I want to practice a few more times to show it. You can see I'm grabbing that, and I'm only holding it for just a teeniest bit until I'm hitting the peak of my jump, and I'm letting go again. Grab, hold, there it is. Grab, kick. Yeah, I kicked it even there too. Well, I guess it was too early, huh? A little too early, that's fine. And of course, that's going to vary based on a bit how far away you are. So if you get a little closer, your timing is going to be different. So, keep that in mind as you're doing any of these tricks as well. So an assisted double shell jump is still fairly tough. Like, it's hard just to get a single shell jump as you're a beginner. So please keep in mind, you're not going to, you'll see assisted doubles in a few beginner hacks. There's one in Moo World. There's one in Easy Kaizo. They'll be around, but it's asking quite a bit. Double shell is a lot tougher. So here you're doing the same idea, but you have to control everything. So that shell isn't waiting for you up on an 1F0. You have to get it into the right position. I think you should watch a YouTube tutorial. And in fact, I'm kind of recording this as a YouTube tutorial. So feel free to watch this one if you want, but also watch some other ones. Smarter and more experienced people than I have made tutorials on how to do this. So you're going to throw this first shell into the air as you're starting to fall. And the reason for doing it as you're starting to fall is it gives it the maximum amount of time in air, so it'll be where you want it to be as you're going. Then you're going to quickly grab the other shell and do a shell jump. Catch that first shell in midair and do another shell jump with it. Right? So we're going to jump, but we're not just going to jump here. We actually do want to get closer. So we're going to jump and kick that, go, and go. Oop. One of the biggest things I learned, I don't actually remember who said this, maybe it was Oreo. Hi, YouTube. Is that is a lot of people will let go there. That was it. Will kick this up too quickly. Like they'll kick it up as they're rising. And it can work once you know what you're doing, but it makes it a bit tougher. The longer you hold on to this, the better it all lines up for you, honestly. Because then it just has the most time for it to kind of work out. So like, yeah, it's a really tough trick. Like, I sadly have seen it in hacks listed as beginner. But if a beginner hack has this and you can't do it, then honestly, don't feel bad, because it's like it's not a beginner trick. I don't know why it's in a beginner hack. I'm not the one making those decisions. Now it's a fun trick. It's a great trick even, but it's not a beginner trick. So the first one I ever did of these was in Nightmare Cafe. And those are, single room challenges. So that feels more reasonable. It's gonna basically look just like this, right? You have a room and you have to do a double shell, and then you do it and you've succeeded. But when you see, but in context of other levels, when like you have to do them after doing things, it gets a lot tougher. More scary than difficult. Once someone does them, they quickly do them because they know they are capable. I guess I think that's true to a point, Oreos. I also think but I really also think there's a huge skill gap to just get to that level. Like shell jumps in general, once you get a feel for them, they tend to not be as tough, but getting that feel for them is really tough. And so I think the same thing is true with double shell jumps, right? Like once you are comfortable with normal shell jumps, then you can learn how to do a double shell jump. And once you are comfortable with doing them, then they can come really quickly. But I think it's tough to get to that point. But they also are very scary. Yeah, when you're just sitting here, you're like, what is all this stuff? What do I do with this even? How do I get it to work? But yeah, you're definitely right. Like once you have done it, then you start to get a better feel for the timing. And once you get that feel for the timing, then it becomes, yeah, it's not like a trick that I mean, to an experienced player, this is like a way easier trick than the P-switch jumps, because their frame of timing for it is so much wider, right? It's not like it's a single frame trick or anything like that. But getting that experience for it is tough for sure. So I rewarded it with some easier tricks at the end, honestly. So this is a turn back. So you jump and throw the shell against the wall behind you. So you quickly tap left, then press right after letting go. So you kind of are just tapping back to let go of it, then moving on. And so here you want it to actually land on those munchers or getting close to those munchers. It's okay if it doesn't land all the way on them. It's better if it does for the timing. You don't actually need to use that Koopa to make it work, but you can because it works smoother. Like it's more consistent if you use the Koopa. So I left it there so you can practice with it, but you also, if you time it right, you don't need it. So this green shell is silver, but in many hacks it's going to be green. but this was still a version of the ROM hack race base ROM that had it as silver. For easy ID. So here what it means for these green shells, and normally when you see a green shell in a hack, you should assume it's this type of green shell, is you're going to be able to bounce twice off of it. You can see it keeps going after you bounce off of it. And that's not going to be true for other shells. So if you time it right, you can bounce off of it twice under this gap and use it to cross over the gap here. That was a little too early. That was definitely too late. So I put this sprite killer at the end just to make it a little tougher. I want to get the timing right. Not the worst trick. So because it's that kind of green shell, it also can keep going again after that shell jump. So here we're going to shell jump off it. It's going to come back around, and we're going to use it here. This is telling you how to do it. I'm just going to show you how to do it rather than read that whole description. So we're going to shell jump. It's going to scare that Koopa up into the air where we can bounce off of it, and then we're going to use it at the end. If you do this wrong, you're going to hit this too early. You're going to be screwed. You actually can kick it over too, which I made this shorter to de-cheese it, because well, I shouldn't say de-cheese it. It was janky without me lowering that. So it's lowering it, even though it makes it a bit tougher. It makes it more consistent. And yeah, shells are fun. You'll see them a lot of places. And also you'll see shells that like have numbers on them of specific things, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so this is a pretty quick shell test. You need to do an assisted double, a nudge, and what was the last one? A trick similar to the buckets. It's actually not a bucket, but you're gonna kick it like it was a bucket. We were a little low there. You can see it's not a bucket because there's no bucket for it, but you're doing the same thing where you're aiming it to get underneath you. It's also kind of similar to the turn back, but we didn't turn back. I don't know what to call it, but you'll see it. This is not uncommon. Okay, we got a little bit of chocolate left, and then we've got the final test. So let's check that out. Of course, if you should know by the song, this is a motor skills level. So with motor skills, it's a type of ASM. So it's actually named after a level, and that's not the ASM name when you look it up. But basically, you can see you can change from a normal jump to a spin jump and vice versa in midair. It does get tricky to do this with holding an item, but you also can switch from Y and B to X and A. You don't need to really worry too much about it here. So let's jump normal, change to spin, change to normal. There you go. You also can do this fun trick here. We spin, and then change to normal, and make that work. Let's try it again. Spin, normal. Oop, I just changed back in time. A little low there. Oop. There it is. Okay, this one's another ASM where you've got a multi-jump. So I just thought it was fun. Yeah, you don't see it a whole lot. You just jump again after you jumped in the air. It also works if you run off, you can jump. So like some nice coyote time, infinite coyote time kind of thing. But you do only get one midair. So if you jump, it can jump, but if you run off, you can only still jump once. So here we're gonna run off and jump, and you just gotta time it. It's a little tricky. It used to be as 2, I redesigned it to work as 1. There it is. You just gotta get low before you do that last jump. And these are like, they're not the most common chocolate even. I don't know, thought it'd be fun to have some fun chocolate. So in these ones, you can control these on-off blocks by pressing L or R. We're only going to press L to do it because R is the one that takes a picture. Oop, we took a picture. So you just control it. You can do it after the fact, which is important here, so you don't die. So, a spoiler alert there. That's a fun after goal death for y'all. And that one's like fairly common, but it's usually used with other things. So now we just have the final test, and let's take a look at that. So you're kind of just placing a bunch of the different tricks that you've learned together here. So this is slope, speed, adding the final test. Thank you. I appreciate that. I saw you say that. Sorry, ZJ. I also saw you say the compliment before, and I read it, and then I think I got distracted by. Oh, I got distracted by this song. I think. But I really do appreciate that. That's so kind. Ooh. You see how I said? Remember how I said thwomp jumps are tricky depending on their positioning. This is a great example of that. And you can like take that slower and let the dry bones fall and just kill it. It's like it's not gonna. I mean, it could kill you, but it's not a requirement to do this all as fast as I'm doing it. I'm just trying to show it smooth. Oh, I forgot I was going to do one thing. Also, if you go through this pipe, you just start over again. I was going to let it lead you to a death room, but then I had already patched the like reset thing, and I didn't want to figure out how to unpatch it and like make it so you didn't get endlessly stuck in the death room, and I was very confused, so I just gave up. Made it restart you. This flight test is probably tougher than the other, honestly. And mostly it's for this beginning. So this is really tight to land to get that to all work out. And it also has a trick that I literally did not teach you because I've never seen it, so I didn't quite know how to teach it. I mean, it's a shell jump, but like turning around with it, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just a little extra little trick for it. So you're supposed to do that, do this, and you of course do this assisted shell jump to end it. I hope I got everyone in these credits. I'm a little nervous I didn't, so please tell me if you can think of someone who I didn't get involved. So yeah, let's get to Kaizo tutorial hack created by me. Obviously inspired by Learn to Kaizo by Nexus, and Learning to Fly by DJ Alex and Pointless, and also Kaizo Kindergarten. I definitely took some ideas from Kaizo Kindergarten here. I think it's clear it owes more to Learn to Kaizo, but special thanks to Nexus and Fane for their help with everything. Nexus for being so kind about it and for letting me use the name. Fane really helped me out a lot in getting a few things working that I could not have otherwise. Oh, thanks for the G, ZJ and Oreos. Shout out to Rainbow Wing team. You want a Rainbow Wing? That's the only shout out. That's like a specific shout out. ROM Hack Race's base ROM. This was made on 4.0, so we're well past that now, but it's had lots of stuff in it already. Use some important tools, some ASM folk. Lots of music, which we appreciate a ton. We had a whole bunch of playtesters for this, including me, I guess, now. Sweet Star and Mira played it early on. Mira actually played it twice, once early on and once since. Then we turned it over to Risto and Turnips. Turnips and Flans both played it, which was a ton of fun. Back played it a bit, especially getting it ready for Risto's event, charity event that he did, where it was ran by Potato and Minnie.
And I have to ask
Oh,
for
Nick,
an
thank you
audition.
so much for the raid. We're actually about to head out ourselves, but
You
we'll
have
find
an
a good
audition
place in a minute.
Oh, no, I'm not in the group yet. No, I'm afraid I just blew myself.
It's got to be a better way.
Nick,
to
there's
say
got to
that.
be a way to say that. Thank you so much for thinking of me for the raid, though. It's great to see you. How are you? If anyone's not following Nick's, that is definitely something that I think you should correct immediately. But Spot, yes. Nix has been playing, I don't know if this is what you were playing today, that does this Super Mario World, has been playing Sure Shot with the Tails version, so the no or very few checkpoints version. Is that what you were working on now? And how is it going? Yeah, and we got Jetty and Fink both played it. And Cynthia, a lot of, need some German support for sure. Dynamon played it. Marathon played. Red and Knees. John and Zorio and FNB and Suek and Germ Dove. And we gave it to a few other people, but these are the only people who I think played it. I think. So if you played it and your name is not here, I deeply apologize, and I promise I will patch it with your name in it if I missed it. I didn't make a whole shout out thing because I didn't know what else. I knew it'd just be too long. Like, there's just too many people to thank. Too many amazing people in Kaizo. So, yeah. Just, be a badass. I appreciate it.